Welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather Show. There's lots more types of content coming to the channel. You may have not known that I have some skills that aren't necessarily highlighted regularly on the channel. But yeah, this will be a regular thing. And so I'm just going to play for a minute here and then we'll talk space weather, shall we? Anyway, on to space weather. Because this is not yet a music-centric channel. It's coming, since there's a new band that's been formed, but we'll have to save information about that for a later video. Anyway, space weather's been hitting Earth, so that's always exciting. And welcome to the live chat, those of you who have joined and via realizing the channel exists, congratulations on that. So we'll talk things like sunspots and magnetic fields and the likelihood of solar flares and all of those sorts of space weathery things. So hopefully you're giving 0 Fs as well. And let's get into it. And let's get out of it because it's way too hot. Feeling like winter here in Pennsylvania now. Temperatures were down into the 20s this morning. And it was glorious. Just glorious. Alrighty, so yeah, space weather striking Earth. CME impacts. We did have some large M flares, and even an X-class solar flare has forecasted. No surprise there. We talked about it on Friday. Was it Friday? I forget which day. I forget which D it was. One of them Ds. This is going to be a very brief space weather video because I am battling a little bit of pharyngitis. You may be able to tell the voice is a little bit lower than it typically is. So yeah, there's that. And I was in the middle of watching a Dave Farina video, but let's move on to the space weather. So first we'll talk things like sunspot number. Just give me a moment to initialize my browser with 97 tabs open on it. I'm exaggerating. It's only like 25 tabs, I think. And let us know in the comments if any of you have seen the aurora. So, if you've seen it, we want to know about it. So make sure you tell us. I think they were visible in Pennsylvania last night, but I was too tired to really worry about filming it. I was going to stream actually for people just like you. So let's just, let me tune into my own stream here so I have access to the chat. Please leave a comment if you're able to see the stream. All right, so first we'll talk sunspot number. And actually, let's talk cosmic ray flux because I want to see if we have cosmic ray flux at an even lower level, as it has been stuck at a 20-plus year low here for a long time. And at the moment, we still see very low levels of cosmic ray flux. Now, you see this event right here. This is the recent impact that we're experiencing right now here on planet Earth. That is what's called a 4-Bush minimum. And 4-Bush minima represent a big decrease in cosmic ray flux as a result of incoming solar plasma. So there's a great example of the OLU neutron monitor. You should see that at DOMB and DOMC as well. There is a, once again, 4-Bush minima here in all three of those monitors from University of Oulu. Anyway, let's see if there are more impacts on the way, as we have not been covering space weather because I'm very busy doing a lot of things that have significant payoffs. And of course, informing you what's going on in space is a payoff, but what can you do? Sunspot number here pushing back up toward 150, folks. So there is the sunspot number from Royal Observatory, Belgium. Current sunspot number is 134 sunspots. 134 up from in the 20s. Up from about 20 sunspots. This is totally normal. Expect wild swings. We are still only barely a year from solar cycle 25 maximum. Here from Solon.info is our radio flux, and you can see it is at 162 solar flux units. 162 is the 10.7. Quick look at the C3 here to see if there are any coronagraphs indicating more on incoming space weather. That might be a halo right there. It looks like an Earth-directed CME. Let's cross our fingers. We did get into some significant geomagnetic storms here. Only a G1, but 5.33 on the KP index. Solar wind velocity made it all the way up to 854 kilometers per second. It has simmered down a little bit, still at over 750 kilometers per second. So a fast CME impact there, but not a dense one. That CME arrived right around 4:40 Universal Time, just before 5 o'clock UT. No SEPs or solar energetic particle events. The proton flux remains pretty much baseline here. Largest flare in the past 24 was an M1.7 approximately. Let's take a look at LASCO C2. We want to see if that is indeed an earthly directed CME. So right toward the end here, there should be a halo. There it is. Look at that. So it looks like it's mostly out of the northeast, which would be your screen upper left. Hi, Len Markin. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so let's refresh here, get the latest. I'm just going to reopen that actually. It can be finicky. Here's our Core 2 space weather beacon. That is stereo A. And if you're wondering where it's located right here. Earth trails it orbitally speaking. That's stereo A's location. This is stereo B out here. Anyway, here's the latest from stereo A. Looks like we do have freshies. That's good. See what we've got. That's another earthly directed CME, folks. So there is another one on the way. We'll have another coronal mass ejection impact. That would be late in the day on the 9th. So on November 9th, that will be Sunday night into Monday morning, folks. Sunday night into Monday morning, another coronal mass ejection impact. So this one could affect mid-latitude aurorae. You can see that is earthly directed. So another CME on the way. It's exciting to tell you about. Perhaps we were first. Let us know in the comments if we were. Moving right along to the heliosphere. Earth is in a south pole magnetic sector, as depicted here in red. Nothing new coming with heliospheric current sheets anytime soon. South pole current sheet for the near future. Here we can see the Boulder magnetometer is getting some variations. No surprise there. Space weather is impacting. Next, we'll look at magnetic fields, and we've got a flare player continuing to show up here. Let's look at El Teide. And this sunspot in the north is still capable of producing an X-class flare. Look at how straight these lines are. This is an active sunspot. So more X-class flares could be in our future. Fingers crossed for that. Next, our intensity gram. We'll load the newest. There's the magnetogram animation. That is a volatile sunspot. This trailing portion especially is certainly more than active. So that is a beta gamma delta class sunspot group. And that's what we like to see, folks. That means more space weather is likely. Now let's take a look at the filament that ejected. We're going to let's use Udaipur, India this time. So that coronal mass ejection just came out of this sunspot group. It looks like I don't see a particular filament ejecting. Oh, it's this one right here. It's this one north of the sunspot. There it goes. Poof. So let's watch that in slow-mo. So it's this filament right here, and part of it is now headed toward your back door. Check it out, folks. See, there's a flare that happens right here. There's that flare event. And then soon after, that filament becomes unstable. You see a little bit of a hider flare action as part of it crashes back down and part of it ejected kind of mainly to the northeast. But there are earthly directed components because we see a halo at Lagrangian point 1. So yeah, another CME on the way. Arrival expected Sunday night into Monday morning. Electron flux is finally reaching back down below warning levels. It looks like we'll get a little better performance out of our GPSs here as the electron storm has, well, it might not have ended, but at least the instruments are not picking up as much of an electron storm. Big dip in the electron flux here. Just before the arrival of that CME, the CME arrived around here, 4:40 Universal Time this morning. Anyway, continuing right along, we'll take a look at the ionosphere. So here's the raw imagery. And it does look consistent with better GPS performance. I would also note that the South Atlantic anomaly is still in the Pacific Ocean, way up here, right on the equator, right where South America meets the equator. That is where the South Atlantic anomaly is now located. You'll see it right under my pointer here, no longer over the South American continent. It is now way up here right around 90 degrees west longitude. Right there. South Atlantic anomaly has moved a lot. There it is. Read them and weep. If you're scared, unsubscribe from the channel. It's not scary or deadly. Next, we'll look at some current images of the closest star and close this thing out. Here are the past couple of hours, and look at the filament instability. It looks like another CME's jumping off as we make the video. We love to see it. We love to see you in the comment sections. We read them all, even if we are unable to respond to them all. Look at this filamentary instability right in here and up here. So yeah, lots of stuff going on, folks. It's a good day once again for space weather. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Again, expect mid-latitude aurora Sunday night into Monday morning. And we're going to try to do everything we can to get out there with a tripod and so forth. Probably do a live stream, maybe have a second device so we can video as well as live stream and interact with all of you. So anyway, see you soon here at the Smash News Network, least busted name of news. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. Smash-O-Mash, signing off. And until the morrow, may that solar wind be at your back. Hey, and thanks for leaving a comment, John of Life Force Rejuvenation and Stratotanker 837. Good luck with you as well. Godspeed.